Hey, welcome back everyone to another phenomenal night of Court of Blades, where our Neen Valley Role Playing Association will once again prove its daring and capacity to create mayhem in the most genteel of possible ways at the End of Winter Ball. The End of Winter Ball is being hosted by their arch nemesis house. What could possibly go wrong? Worse than that, there's several complications that they're trying to take care of that are at this ball. Do you guys want to think about that? What about Andrea, Martin?
Um, yeah, Monty has some serious concerns about poor Andrea, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, that could be very interesting. We also know that Cosimo, the villain that he is behind most of this and is working his ne'er-do-well uh, activities behind the scenes to shame and harm you guys just because he gets a kick out of it after his assassination of Victoria with your help.
I think somebody needs to turn him into a puddle.
Yeah. So before we get completely into that, we do know that a day or two after the ball is going to be the end of that period of negotiations after the race of antlers. So she'll be very interesting to see how that plays out as well. Maybe you can clear up some of those things tonight as you're going through that. Although I do think that there's going to be some expectations from some people to be invited to this ball now that they have been there's it's not espoused, they've been engaged. That will be interesting. I'd like to see how that works out. Exciting. Okay, with that, I'm going to, I do want to say a quick shout out for a store in Fargo, North Dakota, Little Big Wars. They actually sell stuff on Amazon and eBay. And I recently, over here in the UK, bought a piece from them to get shipped to my son who's going to university at OU. And their customer service is par excellence. So please use them if you can. And they also have a YouTube channel, which is basically wargaming, if you're interested in any of that, where you can see the big maps that they've done out with all the soldiers as they run them around and recreate historic battles. So that's Little Big Wars. Okay, 2 Roll20. I have done my due diligence as I needed to do. So you guys are on the houses map, and this is where we sort of look at who's got what and remember where we are in the big race. Your house is still pushing its way forward, all tied up with Ilanda, except they're the incumbent. Hopefully, at the end of this season, perhaps you will supplant them or even more. But the Lavelle Corvetto thing is very interesting. It's getting tight. Is there friction or is there collusion at this point at the top? Very, very interesting. So, knowing that we're going into the ball, I propose that we move into gathering information to help you with whatever your heist is. Or we can talk about your heist or errand or what you have been asked to do. Would anyone like to describe what they've been asked to do by Uncle Loto? Pete?
So Uncle Loto has asked us to. I'm not sure. Is it rescue or save her life?
Save her life.
Of Moon de Lavelle. Yeah.
I think the rescue may have been implied, but either way, that was what he said. So we know that Moon has been caught in the act of, well, she's been supplanted by Cosmo Rossi in the house as she was away. She has been caught in the act of kidnapping of the Lavelle's lady. She also is caught in the act of blackmailing him for her safety. Neither are good things. She has been sentenced to death. Her house has requested that they take care of it internally because it is their shame that they are extirpating. They have been turned over to their house, as we know, because of Mochlain's daring, mystical foray out to chat with Moon on the ethereal plane. And she's pretty sure she's back at her place, but doesn't know too much more. With that background, what are you guys going to do?
What,
Go ahead.
remind me why we're saving Moon.
Because you've been asked to. That's it.
But for what reason?
Ah, there's a salient thing that you don't know.
We do not.
Why
know.
bother doing it then? Why should we bother doing it?
Because when Uncle Loto asks you to do something, you go, how high?
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
it's the main cause of all the problems.
Yeah.
Ah,
I think we need the explanation, really. Right?
Well, the last time Uncle Loto asked something of me that was to do with Moon de Laval, I told him no, and then I went directly to the source and said yes. So it could be Corvetto, the house Corvetto, that wants her alive, and they're using us because they see how prominent we are in the, if you want something done, we've got a monkey that can do it.
Yeah, and also if we do it, we could be then tarnished as being the bad guys, basically. We need to have a moralistically good reason to save her, because we spent the entire game saying how we were going to kill her
yeah.
for a good reason, a really good reason.
I mean,
You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. No.
And so I have to say, I'm siding with Lorenzo in this one. I think we should basically just cross our hands and go, sorry, we didn't manage to do it. Uncle, it's a case of sad, but we'll pick up on the next one for you.
Yeah.
We'll try harder next
we
time.
we were too busy saving people at Necropolitan Hill.
Yeah. Sorry, Uncle.
How? Yeah. I mean, how secure are you in your position in the house, and that you're not going to be destitute and out in the streets looking for other work?
Well,
I mean,
we haven't been. We haven't. Sorry, Christine.
That's okay. So I think we've done so many things to extricate the house. I think that would be extremely unfair of them.
I mean, it might mean that we are less trusted in the future, but we can gain that back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can ask for a valid reason. We can ask for a valid reason if there isn't one. I mean,
Plus, I mean, our status is so high because we've been filling it out religiously every week.
I know. You guys have done a lot of that.
We must be on at least 30, 33. So, you know, I mean, we are highly thought of. Word is getting around. We are the go-getters of this society. You know,
What isn't getting around? We've been carefully keeping our reputation low.
no, only the bad bits. You know, like association with bears.
Our reputation would be quite talked about in certain circles.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
we're not.
no matter
we're not
how
very-
unorthodox we are, we seem to get the job done. So I think that's what's getting us noticed the most.
Look, if we get kicked out, we'll all go and join the circus. I think we know someone who's got contacts.
Absolutely.
Monty, I knew
am
he knew the
perfectly-
circus life.
Yep.
Well, I
I
mean,
can make
if we-
a crafted bear suit and pretend to be a bear.
I mean, if we do get kicked out, then
Well,
you've
then
always
this
got
is-
jobs with me, so it's absolutely fine. Bears and tigers and monkeys included.
Although we're not sure how your affinity for blood magic will keep how long you'll be around for.
Yeah. Yeah.
What blood
Short-term
magic?
employment.
You don't know nothing, right? Right. Mental note. Mochlain needs to work out how to alter brain patterns.
All right.
These are
So,
not
if
the
it
blood
is-
magic
if it
people
is
that you're
you-
looking for.
Do as you choose. I'm pleased either way. That makes logical sense. But we are now in the gather information phase. We want to be slightly mechanical about the ball, going into the ball, and doing what you choose to do there, whether it is simply representing your house well, or or doing something else.
If we're in a information gathering, should we try and find out the reasons why he wants her saved?
Yeah, let's start. Let's start with that.
We can petition him and we can say, look, this is like saving Hitler. We need a good reason, basically.
Very good. I think that is fair enough. What I'd like on that is for you guys to choose a couple of folks, or if you all want to go, that doesn't bother me. You're in the house. You can set up an appointment. The earliest appointment available is actually going to be I'd like a luck roll from Mara. Not Mara, yeah, from Sasha. I keep saying Mara just because I keep Moon on the brain. 3. All right. So it will be 3 hours prior to the house departing for the event.
So I think in place to actually go through with this if we are persuaded that we really have to then.
I'm sorry?
I said I think we have to prepare and put in place all the steps we feel we need to achieve the task should we feel we really have to. Should our arm be so twisted behind our back by uncle
Yeah.
we have no choice but to.
Very good.
But
Well, the other thing to bear in mind, we do have one more task which we haven't performed, which is to avenge
Cosimo.
That could be
Victoria
it.
killed Cosimo. So maybe that's our activity instead. I mean, I think that Lorenzo has issued him a
oh yes,
a
he
challenge.
has issued
He hasn't
challenge.
Yeah.
responded. He hasn't responded to that, so we just haven't
Yeah.
actually in the ball.
So maybe we up the ante and basically put out word that he's
Call him out.
challenged.
Ooh.
This is more disrespect from the House Lavelle and the eyes of House Lavelle.
Yep.
Following on from Moon de Lavelle, Cosimo is following in her footsteps. Beautifully.
Cosimo is cowering in his hole,
Yeah.
protected by House Lavelle.
Once we know,
Ah.
once we know the
okay.
reason why,
Well,
For the new-
Yeah.
Yeah.
once we know the reason why we need to save,
Yeah, let's just find that out
Blue,
first.
we could then
But
we could always
we
say that if Cosimo was working on her behalf, that say we did want to save her, we could challenge him to a duel. He could be her I don't know. He could be her second or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'd duel him in the bull.
Do you want to do any research at all about these, the type of background that he comes from, and the fact
good
that
idea.
the hired assassin group that is, what is their reputation? I think to some extent they're premier assassins.
We need some basic skills would be useful. and what he'd most likely do in the event of a duel.
Very good. So you guys have a spy in House Lavelle, happens to be an accountant, if I remember right. You also know of a spy who works very closely with Cosimo, but reports to someone else. However, seems to drop tidbits to Lorenzo. You could activate said spy to get some of this information. All Lorenzo would have to do is a sweet whisper.
Go on, go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to meet up with Isabella.
Okay. Where do you meet? And this is important.
We will meet at somewhere really sober. So just on a bench, somewhere secluded near the river.
Okay. I would like the district.
Let me have a look. Probably in the Rose District.
Very good. You do feel slightly more confident in that district because her mistress does tend to keep it fairly well policed. Very seldom does something go wrong in the Rose District that isn't quickly taken care of. It's amazing that there are no, as for the reputation of the place and what it provides, the sheer lack of violence and buffoonery from the reveling people who are there, because they are quickly escorted where they need to go. So there is a decent amount of security in the area provided by the Senora. She sits down on she arrives slightly later than you and sits down on the bench next to you. She's throwing some crumbs to some pigeons out of a bag.
Okay, so I'm really sorry to have to ask you this because I'm slightly concerned about an upcoming event.
She looks at you sidelong.
Yeah, so I wouldn't do this if my life wasn't in danger, but I've agreed to challenge Cosimo to a duel.
Has he?
Has he what?
Responded. I've seen the letter.
Well, one way or the other, he'll be receiving a duel. Whether or not he responds, I don't know. I've given him the option to act honourably, but he hasn't responded. So one way or the other, he will be challenged to his face if he doesn't respond.
Very interesting.
I
can tell you what I know, but I also have a request. Perhaps through your networks, or if there's any way you can figure out what he's up to on this particular thing that I can't. She sort of glances casually over her shoulder, just making sure there's no one anywhere near, and says, the Senora has received a personal invitation to the ball from the cadet Corvetto. She has never been invited to a ball.
That sounds, it's unusual that the Senora has never been invited.
She is not as, she is powerful in her own domain, but there are far too many who would enjoy a public humiliation of the corrupter of their husband.
So what do you think what's he thinking about this? What concerns you about the invitation?
That is unexpected. I've never seen her surprised. She was surprised.
In a pleasant way or an unpleasant way?
A puzzled way. And go ahead.
Do you think she's in danger?
I do. Whether it is simply socially or whether it is physical danger, I do not know.
So
I do not know where this dagger is being held.
What was the what do you request of me then? What would help me help you?
If there's any way you can figure out what is behind this, what's happening, what is the plan?
I can certainly take it back to my comrades to look into.
I greatly appreciate it.
Can you give me any more details? What was his reasons for inviting him?
That's we don't know. That's the main salient thing that we're looking for is she has her own people looking into it, but we don't know.
Is he picking her up or is he meeting her there?
It's simply an invitation to attend.
Okay. So she's just been invited.
She is not going to turn it down because she can't see a way around the invitation.
So she can't refuse it, but she's been invited as a guest rather than rather than the partner.
Correct. She has simply received an invitation.
Okay. So does she want protection, or she's happy to arrange her own? Or?
She was not given the option of bringing anyone with her. I personally would be grateful if she were protected.
So we can, I'm sure we can help with that. We can offer her some form of protection. I just need to arrange it. But I was just wondering whether or not she had arranged anything for herself with her own contacts.
There will be a few in the wait staff.
Okay, well, certainly we can help with that. Can you give me any help with an understanding of Cavetto and his Cosimo, whether he would fight fairly, or if there are any specific skills I need to be aware of? That he's any common weapons or anything that can help give me a bit of an edge, or not that I need it.
He's easily the most deadly man in this town.
Okay, so is he likely to fight underhanded?
If he's losing, I expect so.
Okay, so maybe something swift and fast.
Good luck with that. I'm gonna skip to a different thing I need to see so I can describe this slightly better. I would say that attempting to misdirect him or go for an easy, quick set of movements would be exceedingly unlikely to work. He has probably seen it all. I think his defense is nearly impenetrable, having watched it, and he is in absolutely perfect fit form. Trying to dance around until he is tired will leave you tired first, though you do look very fit.
So
I think
he must have some form of weakness.
I think an angle that would be going for his pride, trying to shake his nerve that way, might be the only angle that would work in the long term.
Right, okay.
It would require you staying as carefully free of injury as long as possible. And I would expect that you will be extremely careful on where you pick up your drinks. this is House Lavelle's ball.
I won't be participating in any glass they provide.
Probably a good idea. I would probably refrain from drinking if this is your intent. I will be there as part of House Lavelle's retinue. There is very little I could do to help. But if I can, I will. Understanding the risk is getting out of control. Do you have anything further you wish me to seek out?
Do you how about access? Where is the ball likely to be held? Where was the invite to?
I have personally been left out of that loop of knowledge.
Well, if she has an invite, then she must have a location. So can we find that out soon?
The
Because I know-
invite is to House Lavelle itself. But I don't think that their ballroom is quite large enough in their main house for this. I would have expected them to use the house overlooking the Rose District that they have, but all the invitations are to arrive at their house. It specifically in front of their house, which is next to the canal. You know how the canal does a loop and they sit on the point where the water is around it on two sides.
Right. Is there a pier there? I can't remember. Is there a pier? In that?
Yes, both at the front and of course at the rear, but that one's seldom used.
Okay, maybe we just won't turn up. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much. That's useful information, and I will take it back to my colleagues to confer about the protection.
Gotcha. I would like to jump to Martin. Sorry, to Monty, because he has a couple of things going,
Yeah.
which I whispered you by accident, Rob, but didn't tell it completely. That whisper was for Monty.
I've not seen this. I've not seen it, so I don't know what you said. 'Cause I've not seen
Yeah,
it.
I just said you have a couple of. I gave him. I responded as though what you had said was from him,
Right, yeah.
and he was like, "What?" Okay. But anyway, the texts are flying furiously, so we'll see how this plays out. Okay, tell us about your ploy.
Monty is concerned, very concerned about the bits and pieces that have been going on, and he has a plan, and he is going to disappear and try and make that work.
Okay. Would you like to keep that separate from the group? I'm perfectly happy to facilitate that.
Yes, for the time being. Obviously, we know what he's. I remember what I said earlier. He's got. I'm sure
So
they'll
I'm
find what he's left.
I'm going to take one quick second to
Can I
refresh myself.
You have a private.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that the person that meets you is not who you were hoping for.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I will give you a name. It's Luca Albiso. You have not met this man before, but when he comes into the room, he is a portly fellow in his later years, smoking a pipe, and he says, "I'm glad to finally meet Victoria's understudy."
Interesting. What was his name? Luca.
Yep,
Just check if
Luca
Not in-
Aldiso.
he's not in my list of contacts, is he?
No,
No, it's not someone we'd have come across.
no, but
I wouldn't necessarily call myself
he's-
as understudy. I mean, it was
is that so?
there was no training. It was just I've taken up some of the loose ends that she was trying to respect her legacy and do right by the house.
You do remember from some of the notes from Victoria that she had her suspicions about this individual being a eye
Mm.
for their group.
Fair enough. But someone has to make sure that the information gets to the right places,
Oh yes,
which is why I'm here today.
is that so? So what I will say, let me make sure I say this carefully. The news you are bringing is poo-pooed like you're an errant child who barely knows his job. He's condescending, he's pompous, but you can tell it's carefully done as he's watching for your reactions. He may well take that information and do something with it, but he is deliberately trying to goad you just to see what happens.
Based on his reactions with the customer, he's not going to. He does like to poke, but he's not gonna outrightly antagonize him. But basically, my concern with this is, and as I mean, different to other people potentially, is my concern is for the city and the well-being of the citizens, and certain people in positions of influence don't care, and that's
you are so noble.
Well,
He
nobility
says with a
nobility
condescending
seems,
smirk.
yeah. Well, nobility seems to have lost its meaning to a great number of people.
You would dare say that it was reduced to a game?
Child's play, as some people would say.
Well,
I'm not naming any not naming any names or casting any.
well, if it is child play indeed, then I'm sure you will do well.
Well, yes, I am just a youngster of this.
Very well. Anything else I can help you with?
Yes, can you also buy Monty some aloe vera?
I mean, you are clearly a person of knowledge and importance, and you know the value of information. But there are certain impressions and I can't think of the word. Sorry, portrayals that
It'll come to you.
must be adhered to. So as long as if you decide that if you can do something with this information, great. But I will be continuing to do something with it regardless. So either
Very well. I would be infinitely obliged if you would give me an update on how well that goes for you.
well, you might
I
be
find it-
interested to know that.
Find it droll.
Well, yes, but we also, based on the information that we've seen, two of your house were involved in this recent events, and we would, if you work with us, we would maybe not publicize this information.
We did have to spring some juniors from a little jail thing. Been farting around with the occult. Well, kids will be kids, huh?
Am I with? Have I got anybody? Have I got the people with me that I was asking about, or is it just me?
Just you. And oh no. Oh yes, you do. And he has been pointedly ignoring them.
Well, the
You knew
occult.
this, by the way. You would know this ahead of time that those people have been sprung.
Right. Okay.
So you're not surprised by that.
No. Well, my lady's companion, colleague, was incinerated by the occult yesterday.
He does a little tut tut sound. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You must have that scene too.
Yes. Well. It would be a shame if that happened to everybody else. Certainly a house as noble as yourself.
Let me cut carefully back to the park bench where Lorenzo is sitting next to Isabella. She says, I did have something I wanted to pass to you. I have noticed some correspondence back and forth between Cosimo and the Eye of House Corvetto about a suitable punishment for the kidnapping of Lady Corvetto and the attempt to blackmail our house, the house. Excuse me. She didn't say our house.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'll pass that on to my colleagues. I can't think.
Very
of
good. Thank you very much. With that, she does lean into you and say, so now that you're going to the ball with your fiance, I hope you have a couple of good dances. And she gives you a little arch look.
Maybe a later ball, it will be you.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek and departs. The monkey is agitated underneath your hat for some reason.
Yeah.
Very good. Back to you, Monty.
Sure, we're going to get much else out of this
No,
conversation?
probably not. Besides slights and digs.
Yeah. Well, you know, Monty likes to.
Oh, he loves the repartee. As you leave, you feel that you've held your own to the best of your ability on someone else's turf. The people you brought with you are vexed.
Oh yeah, Monty's not as happy either. Well,
and they express such to you before going their way.
Before they go, I'll say, well, I have a feeling. I worry that as we saw the names and people, houses involved, I fear this runs deeper than potentially we've even thought about. We've even realized. So, if you're as frustrated as I am, please work with us, and we will try and aim for that. We will try and get to the right outcome for this.
She hands you a small red jewel about the size of the tip of your pinky, and she says, we have a way of making this glow and vibrate if we wish from afar. We will be keeping a watch if you understand our meaning.
Okay. Bear in mind, you should know, if it comes down to it, I will take the place of my lady if I need to. I cannot accept that somebody is going to be used and
very good
collateral damage in this situation just because it suits their needs. The other thing that concerns me greatly is these people are dealing with ritual sacrifice, and they've got 2 executions at their ball. What potentially could this include? Is this also a ritual sacrifice that must be stopped? Bloodshed is needs to be prevented. I think at this point in time.
Very
Otherwise
cool.
May all end up like your poor colleague.
They nod, and thank you again for your kindness, and depart.
And he
Let
throws
us.
he throws a rock into the canal.
Yeah,
Anger.
yeah. Do you?
Oh yeah.
You throw the jewel?
No, not the jewel, the rock.
A rock. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wow, that was an interesting choice. I don't know if you want to do it. Okay. Very good.
He hangs on to that.
So all of you have seen a little bit into the convoluted brain of your house eye that you probably shouldn't have. So strike that from the record until such time it is given to you. Even though I tried to be as circumspect as possible, if you couldn't put it all together, you probably should be ashamed of yourselves.
But they may still find it.
Okay.
They may still find the note.
Yeah, they may. They may. Okay. So let us go to the rest of the team for any things you'd like to do to gain information. I'm going to cost that as one of your information rolls. So you get one apiece before you start. I think that both Lorenzo and Monty have used theirs. Unless you would like, but I will let you each spend for an extra if you so choose. Okay? Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let us go to Sasha. Before she gets started, let us discuss a quick thing for Sasha. I think there's a little bit of an expectation from a certain young officer that you might just say hi before the ball. And this is not counting as your information, though you may get a little.
I can pop along and see Joe.
Brilliant.
Always a worthwhile trip for the morning.
Absolutely. How are you on stress?
On stress.
Just checking.
I'm down to 2.
Down to 2. Very well.
Yeah.
So depending how this goes, you may
Have lots of stress
erase. No, you may erase another one of them.
Okay.
So let's see what happens.
Uh-huh.
He has asked to meet you once again, as he does. He really enjoys the picnic event, and he has asked for a place out in the Vine. It's actually in the Arbor District. There, where they have some of the vineyards that tumble down the hill towards the canals. He has set it up, and he is so excited to see you and to discuss the future. And he's in a very happy, almost high mood when you meet him. And he has it all laid out. He has thought well in advance of everything. He's got the wine that you like. He's got the cheeses, the cold cuts. He has, the baguettes and stuff that he's found, and he's got the spread, and he is very, very happy to. He's proud of himself, as we men tend to be anytime we do even the slightest gesture.
I smile and laugh and praise him. Jorah, this is lovely. You have thought of everything. It is beautiful.
I bet Pete gets praise like that at home when he does little things. I'm
honestly,
sorry. Just
if I wash up my mug, then
That's looking well.
Oh, he is. You can tell giddy at the at that. He says, I have a gift for you. And he points down to a box. It's
Looks like a
actually,
puzzle.
I have to decide what it is that he's giving you. Can you give me a luck roll?
A luck roll, okay.
I've got a little list here of what it might be. Oh, it's not the ring. You get lucky this time because that might have been a very interesting one. It is instead, he presents you with a fine dress that he would like you to wear to the ball. You can, I'll let you make the description
You'll have
of
to describe
this
it.
dress.
No, I'm going to make you describe it to me. Come on.
Oh, see, you see me going with, you can describe it. That's one of the joys of this game is I get to push it off on the player characters because I will let you choose the colors. And I would say, think when you choose colors and things like that, think about his brain and what he would have come up with, because he might be slightly more exuberant with the color palette than you would be. Slightly. But he does know what you like and would aim for that. But he still might be slightly more exuberant in the color palette. Let's put it that way. Whereas you might have chosen a more, not drab, a more circumspect set of colors.
I'm just wondering how low cut the bodice is.
Oh, you may need to make a slight adjustment. I'll let you describe it. I'll let you describe it on the night of as we describe ourselves. So you have some time to think about that.
Okay.
I think just how this went. I think with your kindness to him and everything else, take away his stress. I'm being really generous, and that's not going to count you anything towards gaining information unless you would like to use him for any information. I don't think.
I'm not sure if he's placed in any way to help us.
Then I will add one piece. If you'll let me steal one of your information pieces, I will give you an insight.
Yeah.
Okay. He does say, I've been receiving some correspondence.
Indeed, have you? So Sasha tries to look surprised, but she's got an inkling she knows where this correspondence is coming from. Really?
I've been receiving these poems. They're about gallantry and my actions as a young officer. They're not particularly good, but they've just been arriving every couple of days.
Indeed.
At first, I thought maybe it was you, but the prose was, yeah.
I prefer to praise you to your face than to write down a poem. Yeah, no, they were not from me, but I have a slight suspicion I might know where they come from if you were not aware.
Oh? He's completely clueless. Just in a it's not because he's dumb. It's just he's missed that what you've picked up on.
Crest of the main ladies in House Cavetto, shall we say. Tito is very taken with you, and
I'm flattered.
To your personality.
His forehead creases a little bit, and you are pleased to see that his at least second or third thought goes to what does this potentially mean and what are the dangers thereof? And he says, any advice?
It is difficult for me to say, my dear. You know, I have interest in our relationship, and I enjoy where we are going with it. Um,
What did
but
Rob just do?
I have no
don't know.
idea.
Don't know.
He's cutting in on your discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That has lost my track there. So yeah. No. I enjoy our relationship and where it is going, which I'm hoping it seems to be for me going along the right track anyway. But I think for me, I think it. My advice would be you cannot burn your bridges, and Tita is definitely a she is a very worthwhile target for a young officer to have. But my word of warning would be she is the head of or she will be the head of a very important house. And what would that mean for her husband, her other half? It would possibly take you into areas of politics that you would not suffer
I
with
want
me.
none of that. I want none of that.
I know. I know how you
think-
feel. That is,
I think your main concern now, Sasha, is the fact that his feelings play across his face immediately. Is you're unsure how well he may be able to hide this at the ball, his disdain or just not dislike, but not
yeah.
being interested.
The thing I would say to you, Jorah, is enjoy the interest she shows in you, but just be careful. Do not upset her. Do not dismiss her interest. That could lead you down a very dangerous path, my dear. And sometimes there is no from that. It is not easy to do. But if you play on the fact that your interests lie elsewhere and you do not want to hurt somebody else's feelings, you can sometimes put somebody off without upsetting them, shall I say. So if you then let her know that your interests lie elsewhere, and while you are flattered by her interests in you, they are not reciprocated.
You're the huntress.
Indeed.
In the
It is
poems,
one-
I am warned from time to time to avoid the huntress. I see it now.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
She knows.
the snares of the huntress. I have already fallen into the snare of the huntress. With that, he grabs you for a big kiss, and we will move to a different scene. Out of kindness to our viewers.
Please stay on this one. Please.
We're keeping the rating.
No,
We're keeping the ratings
let's go full on Mills and Boone. Come on.
Very good. What happens, happens. Okay.
One foot slid on the floor all times.
They're stamping some grapes into wine. Okay. Let's now move into the actual hunting down information that we need to do. And Mochlain is absolutely, well, you were frozen for a second. Now you're not. Now you're just just playing with your lips because you don't know what to say yet. So I'll jump down to Pietro.
Oh.
Okay, I can jump to. We can. All right, questions, guys. I mean, you go in your order as you choose. I am excited to see what questions you have towards this event that is getting more complicated as we go.
Has Lorenzo told us about the conversation he's had with Isabella at all? And even just a few details.
I've explained the whole thing.
Okay. So let us do that.
Can I then say, I think it would be in our interest to find out whether or not the gondoliers have been hired to transport people from House Lavelle to somewhere else. Maybe that will give us an inkling as to where it is. If the house is on the canal, and Isabella doesn't seem to think that the house is actually large enough to hold the party, so maybe it is that they're doing a little bit along the lines of what we did, and basically ferry people elsewhere.
Well, we have the information. We got that last week. That where are we?
Yeah, but we don't know whether that information was accurate or not.
No. But basically, there was a false flag of an event in the artist quarter, but we think it's in the Grand Hall of the University of Max.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah,
information.
That was the last thing heard, but I will tell you that since that information, that's the latest that you've heard is from her. Now, the invites that have come to you have said to show up in front of House Lavelle. So I liked where that was going and thought that was probably where it was going, but House Lavelle had different ideas. I hate it when my fictional people have different ideas than I do.
Cosimo.
Sorry about that, Pete. Let the fiction start to be amended. And you'll see why at some point shortly.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, in that case, so information from me, yeah. I mean, is if we're meeting up there, has transport been arranged to?
Have gondoliers been hired en masse?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something.
I think that's a fairly easy one, especially for Monty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he wants to, or unless someone else is wanting to use that as their gather information. For Monty,
the other information is why does Uncle Loto want to save Moon de Lavelle? We haven't answered that
We haven't
question.
answered. Yeah, no, we haven't.
So I think let's go with that.
Okay. I think so. Which one are you wanting to do?
The why save Moon de Lavelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Monty turns up back at the house after that conversation.
Okay.
So we'll all go to that.
Fair enough. If you would like, you do know that the meeting that you have set up is 3 hours before the ball. Now, if you wish to go other routes to try and figure this out, you can do that earlier. Otherwise, that one's going to be at the tail end of. In fact, that will probably be the last thing we do.
Yeah,
because 3 hours is in. 3 hours is in the getting dressed, getting ready, getting on your gondola to go where you need to go time period.
Okay, Monty will come back before then. He'll be back before that point.
Yeah. So, just to throw a wrench at it. Or a spanner.
It's not like
Excuse me. A spanner.
You have to try and put in place some bits and pieces, though, to pull the saving deed off if we needed to. So it might be worthwhile having a little chat with some of our little what are they, froglets? No, wolves. What is it? Wolves?
Foxes.
Foxes. That's the one.
Yeah.
Our foxes.
I think
Yeah.
Let me double check. I think the foxes may be occupied. Let me double check what I've written
I did
here.
ask them to be doing something.
Yeah, they are currently not available, but I will report back on that before the
Yeah.
ball.
We had the foxes on some. We had two lots. We had two groups, didn't we?
I think it's just one. It's the you have the leader. I space his name,
Well,
but
well, Monty hired one as a temporary group, and then didn't we get one group as a permanent?
Got the
you have a
orphan.
permanent group. You have a permanent group now.
But the temporary one's supposed to be for the
It's
season.
is it for the season?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Until
Yeah,
the end of the season.
Okay,
Yeah, so
very good, very good.
He's got his own
So you have
little
a
group.
second set.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I guess that's one question I was wanting to ask you: is when does the season officially end? At the start of the ball, at the end of the ball?
Yeah, we'll do it at the end of the ball.
Okay.
That way
I thought that
we can
might be the case.
go ahead. Go ahead and use that. That's fine. How do you want to use them?
Well, I say mine. The ones I'd say will go and do what the go and hunt for the.
Understand that. And then the other group, what do you guys choose to do?
The other group of foxes, we want them to find out the location of the ball, transportation.
Okay.
Or
Then I'd like a roll from you guys that I think is the tier, is that right, of the group? Which is, I think we settled on let's call it tier 2. So let's give you 2 dice. And let's see if you guys want to do anything else to try and improve that. I don't know I can't remember the exact rules, but I'm asking for 2 dice to see how well they do in gathering this information. I will let you spend. Okay, there we go. 4. Okay, here's what they find out. They move amongst the gondoliers. They chatted with numerous people. When they report back, the report says it's not going to take place in House Lavelle. They learned something from your bait and switch at the last thing, and a bunch of gondoliers have been hired. But they've been told it's not a very long, ride.
Okay, so as we kind of own the gondoliers, where have they been tasked to taking people?
They don't know yet. They just know they've been hired to. I won't charge you for that. They just know. Yeah, they don't know their destination yet. They just know they've all been hired, and it's not a long trip. Yeah.
Where is Lavelle? Where actually?
So Lavelle sits at the edge of the coronet and the gilt. And what I'm actually going to say is, if you were to look at the screen, I'm going to ping a spot, which is more sort of white. Actually, I'm going to ping it right here. There we go. So what I'm saying is they have water sort of on both sides of the house. They sort of stick out a little point there. And in front of the house is the grand facade, has a short road in front of it, a sort of, and off of that road is a half moon that goes in front of the door where carriages could go. The main, there are 2 sides that go to the water. There's a side that looks out over the water that is sort of facing towards the gilt, and it has sort of grand receiving doors there, as well as the main K for offloading, onloading folks. And then just around the corner, that's on the side that's sort of towards the white road, and is sort of the back facade. It has some small doors, and one of the doors is like sort of directly over the water, but there is a small K there for a small dock for those that are unloading things to go directly into the servants' entrances and things like that.
Just wondering whether or not we could pull off a rescue if we needed to of Moon de Lavelle by, because if she's moving by gondola as well, it might be easiest to nab her on the way.
I want to bring out the map of the canals he's been studying and see is there anything on here that we can leverage.
Okay.
Can we
Yeah,
drain
if
it,
we-
block it?
I guess we can do a flashback if once we know whether or not it's worth saving her.
Yes, as long as the flashback doesn't presuppose knowledge that you only gain in the present.
No?
So the problem with flashbacks.
I mean, our previous knowledge was that it was going to be held at
The College of Nax.
yeah. So an assumption would be that they would have to transport her. If she's at House Lavelle, she would have to be transported to the location. So
Yes, that's worth.
that's yeah.
Okay, so
Well, we know a
Yeah.
starting point, don't we? We
yes,
think we
Yeah.
know a starting point.
yep, you think you do.
The destination
Is that-
slightly less relevant.
Okay, I'm
can take the-
perfectly happy to have that be one of your chances. You're trying to gather where they're going. I will say that probably you will have to activate Isabella as the only person who might have this knowledge or be able to seek it out, even though she's been excluded from that information. She may be able to dig at that. Now, the other way you can go about it is all the angles, going at the caterers, going at the but probably everyone's doing that.
I think we did a bit of that last week, didn't we?
Yep.
Blood magic.
Also,
I love it. Let's go there
I mean, I
first.
was looking at it and thinking that there's probably only two directions they could go from the front of House Lavelle anyway.
Okay.
Possibly three.
well, I mean, what we could do is work out what it is roughly we want to do, and then have 3 little packs of foxes set up in those 3 areas with the gear we would need to achieve the rescue. And then, depending on which way we, find that it's going,
Yeah.
we can then have the flashback to those foxes,
Yeah.
giving us what we need to get her.
I'm wondering whether or not we hoist her out at a bridge.
Yeah. I was thinking, are there any low bridges that we could be underneath?
By the hair, hoist her out.
Basically, yeah. I mean, if we can, if she's tied up in a gondola,
With a sack over her head.
then yeah, maybe as she goes under a bridge, we can drop down a claw, grappling hook, something.
Yeah. Could we set up a few of those around the place?
A load of foxes. and
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys could separate your foxes out and have probably all of the bridges in the local area with someone available that you can flash back to them ready to go.
We could have a group of them all wearing ropes that would just jump in and then come back out again. And you could tie the other end of the rope. You could tie the other end of the rope to like a
Bungee jumping. Bungee jumping foxes.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that we're expected to be turning up at the ball, so we can't really do the rescue if we're supposed to be at the ball.
And some of you have expectations, Pietro and Mochlain, of maybe paramours that are expecting to be invited.
Yeah,
Expectations are high at this time of year.
they're not high society enough to be able to be invited to something.
Oh, I think they are because they are paramours of the wealthy and mighty. You don't have to show off that your lady is working in a house.
So yeah, I think we're supposed to try and rescue her. So how about we organise our foxes so they're all standing on bridges and they've got nooses and they drop the noose around her neck and
Just
lift
hoist
her
it
up.
away.
Just hoist her up. If she survives, that's fine. If not,
If not,
no luck.
those stupid foxes screwed everything up. I love it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we didn't tell her to do that, but, you know.
It's like the old witch
Well,
witch
look around that way.
thing. If she drowns,
Yeah, that's
if she drowns, she's okay. If she burns, she's a witch.
Yeah, they made the noose too small.
Yeah,
Yeah, it should have gone out of the way.
they've gone around the way.
Terrible, terrible. Okay, I'm perfectly happy with that. If you want to position foxes, every single bridge that could possibly be crossed, you can have at least one or two of your foxes at. That's fine.
With ropes.
I will cost you a information roll for that. But that's fine. So I think we're down to about what, 2, maybe 3 information rolls before you need to buy 1 or 2. Is there anything else you want to know? Are you guys getting?
Why Moon de Lavelle? Why does she have to be saved? Let's
Okay.
get that done.
And that one's being held to the last minute, so I will not forget that one. Okay, because that one's
Okay.
right before you take off. That you've got that interview, unless you want to go about it a different way.
Why? But maybe there's other people who can give us
Okay.
some information on why they think Uncle wants
Tell
her
me who.
who might know?
Well, it's difficult. I mean, the thing is, he came up to us quietly and asked us to do that, so he may not want it spread around that he wants her saved. And by asking the question, we're revealing his secret information.
But
so.
we equally have somebody that he relies on quite a bit, I believe. Doesn't Uncle visit the Lady of Roses quite a bit to have a bit of entertainment with her ladies?
Well, he did until one of them turned up dead.
Yeah.
Has he? Yes, but has he replaced that one with another one?
That-
Maybe it might be worthwhile while popping along to the Lady
We
of
don't know.
Roses
No,
and
we
having a
don't-
little
well,
chat with her.
We don't know that, and would it be conversation?
Might be something. I mean, Uncle's not proven very tight-lipped in the past, has he? Necessarily.
Maybe he's the evil one.
I don't know about evil. I just think he's a little bit senile, maybe. A little bit easily influenced, shall we say? His uncle.
Mastermind.
Maybe if he's getting his wicked way, he gets a little bit loose-lipped.
Is there
I
another
do
information?
think it's something that happens with men, isn't it? In the bed chamber.
Well, yes.
He does have a slight reputation of looser morals in that particular area that Victoria seemed to turn a blind eye to.
Monty will come back and tell everybody about his experience at House Covetto.
Ah, very interesting. Okay, I will let you do that in a couple of sentences because they've got most of the details, but you can go ahead and fill in the salient points.
I'm sorry I disappeared. I was trying to get a message to people of a certain influence. I didn't want to put you at risk. However, it would appear that the message was blocked by their eye. So they may
Yes.
well be in league with other elements that we may not want. That we may be working against. So we may be working against people in House Covetto as well as other places wider that we're not aware of. So possibly want to be careful who we trust.
Any questions you guys have?
Implications of our night on Thingy Hill, Necropolitan Hill, been with the Corvettos who were in the party?
They've been. They have been. They've. Someone has released them from jail. They've gone. They're back. He made a point of. He made a point of that. They've got them back home safe. So we've lost that leverage.
Just well, I put a bullet between the eyes of one of them.
Yeah, there's only one that was hauled away, and that was Loto Vecco.
They possibly have the body of the other one. But the watch and the mercies that I was with did not seem to take kindly to that conversation. He completely ignored them and dismissed all mention of the occult. And yes, he's either playing it off and tending to be the superior so and so that he thinks he is, or he just generally doesn't care, or he's involved in this in some way. I don't like the guy, so if you can, putting a bullet between his eyes would also be quite a what's the word? A benefit to society. I'm just, and you can tell Monty's he's clenching his fists. He's like, I am sick of these people who just think they are so above the people.
Oh yes.
The Mercy did give me this object.
Okay.
Keep an eye on things from afar. So they are keeping an eye.
You could put it up your bum and then pretend that you're test poison.
I'm not sure I'm going to put it there. But,
Which one of the mercies was it?
the main lady, the main one we've been speaking.
Althea.
Yeah. She seems to be more willing to work with us now.
Now that she doesn't think that you're all involved with every monster that shows up.
Yeah, I think she kind of. We think hopefully hopefully it's given us a bit more. Hopefully it's at least brought the watch and the commander and them on side a little bit more, so they may be more willing to help us.
I don't trust her.
Okay. So, in interest of time, we're down to very few questions. Can you guys think of anything, a couple more quick questions before we move to making our roll?
Only the ones I've whispered, yeah.
Ah, shoot, Mochlain. Okay, other people asked too. I'm laughing at some of the other things you've written. I'm not seeing it immediately. Mochlain, do you want to cut and paste it? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He is available.
Right, okay, that's cool. So, do we know how the executions are going to
that's a good question. You had
be carried
hints.
out?
You had some hints.
Okay, how many
And
questions have we got
there-
left? We got 2, haven't we?
Yep.
What were the hints you've received? Just give me a
I think
refresher.
we talked a bit about the gauchiness that made Pietro just want to vomit, about the possibility of piles of white lace being laid out to receive their blood, and then in a maudlin, you could see them thinking that it was some sort of artistic-y thing almost. Now, does that imply that they're going to have their heads chopped off, or they're going to be some other horror? You don't know. And it may be that they back off from that and do something different, but that is a question that you might be able to get. Once again, your best placed asset to find that information is Isabella.
Okay, so we'll ask Isabella.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll. I'd love to see what you choose. I think it's probably consort or something like that. And whoever wants to do it, I don't care. I think that coming from Lorenzo, it'll probably get an extra die.
Yep, I'll get an extra die then. Is this risky? It's not risky, is it? It's
No, you just rolling. Yep, just put whatever you want in there.
Standard effect, or?
Yep. I mean, just gathering information.
Then +1.
Here, let's see.
Got 5.
There's the 5. Okay. She gets the information, and it appears that it is highly orchestrated. There will be a display of the prisoners. There will be a period of humiliation, and then they will be ritually poisoned.
Right. Do we know what with?
That she doesn't know. That's a great question, though.
Okay. So what we could do, could we do a flashback at this stage or not?
Nope, you're not in the event.
Okay.
I think the thing that worries me about what you've just learned there, though, is the word they. They will be poisoned, as in not one person.
She says there are 3 prisoners. 3 prisoners to be executed. And only 3.
My other worry is if there's going to be bloodshed and executions, like with the children, they could be trying to invoke a demon.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we never let it get to that stage. But I don't know if poisoning would allow that. But so it might be worth doing some. I don't know. Is there any does anyone know about the supernatural?
What would you like to know about the supernatural, Lorenzo?
Whether or not poisoning is likely to be part of a ritual to invoke demons or anything else dodgy that these people.
Maybe if it's a demon that likes puke, vomit, and intestinal distress, maybe. But everything else looks like it's been activated by blood. But
Okay,
I
I'm
can
gonna
certainly ask the question if there's any supernatural about. I'm going to. Fuck it, I'll spend 2 stress.
2.
I'm going to scry to Moon.
Oh, okay.
And
what I'd like to say with that is, if you want to make this your gather information roll, I'll only take 1 of your stress, but that'll be the last one the team gets.
No, because we've also got to talk to Uncle Loto.
That's right. I'll still give you that. Still give
me
this
that.
will be the last
Right.
one
In which case, then yes. So before I do this, so let me try to. Right. So. Yeah, I mean, we've picked up they and we now know that there's 3 prisoners. So what I'm thinking is, if I scry to Moon and then ask her who is with her, that might give us an indication of who the 3 prisoners are. Also, surely at this late stage, I mean, we're of the day of the ball. Okay, so at this late stage of everything, she should be aware of the fact that her demise is coming.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Also, just
so
quickly, so we've had a quick kidnapping of. I might have missed this earlier, but I thought the wife of our of who's been kidnapped. Who else has been kidnapped? There's the wife.
But
It was
the
the-
Corvetto, Lady Corvetto, was retrieved.
So could she be a sacrifice?
No, she's been rescued.
She's been rescued.
We do know the people that were with Moon.
Mm-hmm. I think I know one of them.
You probably know two, but yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there was the woman who was in charge of the orphanage. She was one of the
Yes, absolute
people.
honor. Yeah, the one that Felix would love to stick something in.
Kosovo as well.
Nope.
yeah, he's not one of the three, I don't think. Alric's sister, the old Mother Hubbard from the orphanage, and then Moon. So there was basically 4 people. Alric, we know, has buggered off to another house. We already know that, so that literally leaves Monty's paramour, old Mother Hubbard from the orphanage, and Moon herself. But it could be that House Lavelle are looking at somebody else because they've gotten in the way and caused problems. I don't know. So that's why I'm thinking of scrying, and I'm prepared to use the magic, I'm prepared to use my abilities to get the information.
Go for it.
Guys. Okay.
One stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
One
okay.
stress.
So I'll burn the 2 stress.
One.
One stress.
One
I'm just gonna call
stress.
you one.
Oh, so we're going to use it as a question.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So you use it as a question. You still get the question to Loto at the end, which is the last thing we'll do before we get into the actual event as we're moving forward.
Okay. In that case, I'll use the 1 stress. So I'll scry to her straight away, and I will speak to her.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah. I thought I'd come and say hello. So how are you holding up?
Getting tired of the restraints.
Really?
We've been moved.
You used to love being in bondage.
We've been moved.
Do you know where?
I smell water,
You smell water.
and I hear dripping that echoes strangely. But I'm still hooded.
Well, my question, I actually came with an ulterior motive, my dear Moon, and that was to ask if you knew of your impending doom and who would be doomed with you.
Here to gloat?
Darling, that's not in my gauchness.
Always the charmer. Yes, my 2 ladies in waiting appear to be sharing my fate.
2 ladies in waiting. You mean the old hag and the gorgeous one?
I think that would be one way to describe them. Andrea and Honor are their names, yes. I can only hope that this brings some pain to your
The
group.
woman from the orphanage was gorgeous.
You always had the best taste.
Of course. Why do you think we were together once?
I will miss the repartee.
Well, I'll be there. So please, when the desired moment comes, please look in my eyes, and I'll think fondly of the times that we had. I might even bring you a pastry.
That would be kind.
It might have to be a chocolate-covered one, especially after the last ball.
You're a bastard.
I love you too. See you later. And then I close it.
Very good. All right.
And I tell everybody exactly what was said. Well, actually, I could maybe even turn around and say that as I'm thinking it, I'm actually talking out loud as well. So what I actually say out loud is, so everybody's heard exactly what I've just said. The only thing that they don't know is what her responses are, which I fill them in. So it is the old hag from the orphanage, and it is also your paramour, Monty. This does not sit well with me. If we rescue one, I think we will have to rescue all three.
At least we can. At least justice can be dispensed appropriately at a later date.
Yes.
All right. Let me put us on break for just 5 minutes. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
I said I am disturbed by the fact you tell me they have been moved.
Yeah.
So they are not a House Lavelle anymore.
I don't think they are. Moon, she smelt water, and there's also dripping, so it could be that they're already there.
She says it echoes, so something large, voluminous.
Okay.
Do you think of
Let's
anything
go.
on the...
You guys keep thinking, but I need to go on a short break, and then we will come back for our short discussion, hopefully, with Uncle Loto, and then we will move to the event finally and get moving on that. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. I think you've gotten a lot of information. Have you got us, Rob? right. So we have our last question. And this is the one that you've been hoping to get from Uncle Loto. I
Very quickly
need...
before then.
Yes, please.
If I wanted to check with Mochlain about the red jewel thing, would that? I guess that would be kind of an information gathering thing, or would
Nope.
that be just
I'll
a
let you-
general?
You can do that, General.
She gave me this, Mochlain. What do you know? Just want to make sure it's not going to explode on me, something like that.
I'd say without spending anything, Mochlain, you can detect that it's largely based on air and fire, and that whoever has the opposite jewel will probably have to hold it up near like a candle or a torch or something to get the effect they want.
Yeah, it's going to blow up in your face.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I roll double ones again.
No, sorry. It's going to light up in front of your face.
And vibrate. Okay, so you could have it in your pocket and be notified as well. Though you aren't really sure how violent
It's actually
vibration
quite
is
cool.
or how subtle.
I wonder
It
what
is.
range is. I wonder if we can amplify it by using blood magic.
That was freaky.
Everything
You're
grows racing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let us get to the final salient question, but I need a luck roll, and I'll explain it afterwards from one of you. Who's getting the let's not have Martin do it. Come on. Let's see a 1d6. Everything. There we go.
Midway.
3.
Wonderful. Okay. You guys go en masse to Uncle Loto's office where you are supposed to see him. He's not in the office, and his Chamberlain says, "Ha ha, yeah, he's in his room getting changed. Follow me." And you move down the hall. This is a separate hall, veeing off away from where you guys live, back towards where the main family portion is. When you get to the door, he knocks politely, and you can hear Loto, "What?" He goes, he's he may have been already in his cups. And then he opens the door for you guys to go in, and he carefully does not join you.
I pull him in because the last time something like this happened, these guys were suspected of a crime.
You can hear someone swearing down a short corridor that moves sort of through a receiving room into a sitting room, and then further there's a large bed chamber, and off of it you can hear the swearing coming from a side room where you can see there is a servant trying to help Uncle Loto with his trying to cinch in his the contraption that he has to bring his girth to a slightly smaller amount to fit into his suit.
I push the assistant out of the way and I'll
And he does
I'll
have
assist.
a bottle. He does have a bottle in his hand. His face is red. His nose is red, and he is going to be a problem at the event.
Uncle
I think
Loto.
we call it a corset. Would it still be a corset for men? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a corset.
Of course.
Uncle Loto. Really?
He is a bit surprised and unhappy to be disturbed in this delicate situation, and his eyes dart immediately over to Sasha, who is seeing him in a very compromising position.
I lean in.
He turns even more red.
I lean in and I say, just don't bend over.
It is nothing I haven't seen before.
Why? What are you guys doing here? What is this?
We got told that you needed help.
You've got your orders.
We do, but when Uncle Loto needs help getting dressed, we're here to help. And I pull on the
Your
corset.
foolishness knows no end. Oh, you
So
pull the
I've been told, Uncle. So I've been told. Yeah, I pull them.
I can't breathe. Let it down. Let it out.
Yeah, okay. I pull a bit tighter.
This is ridiculous. You can see his. You can almost see his lips forming the words "guards," like he's maybe sick of this. But then he does. What is it you guys want?
Come to ask you. We come to ask you a question, and I loosen the corset and get it just so that it's right for him, and then I finish tying it off, and then I offer him. I'll go through his shirt rack, and I'll get a nice shirt, and I go, this one,
dressed by a prince, and he takes it and he puts it on, without looking at it.
There you go, and then yeah, and I says, well, we've come to ask you a question, but. I think Pietro's better at asking questions than me. And I look and I go, are you going to be wearing a mask tonight?
All of us are. Everyone wears masks for this type
Right.
of
So I notice so I get the mask, I put it on, and then I get the brush and I start brushing his thick tusks of hair to make him presentable. And then I go, come on then, guys.
Wave over Pietro. Wave over Pietro.
Or
Okay,
anyone.
he sits on a stool.
Sasha.
He sits on a stool. His girth is bulging over the top and under the bottom of the corset. Quite well. Go ahead.
So you asked us the other day at this event to save one of the condemned.
Yes.
Now, given the history we've had with her and her involvement in your wife's death, why do we need to save her?
He looks absolutely surprised that number one, you're asking him, and he starts to bluster and then he backs off, and you can see. You can almost see his brain swimming through the drink to try and respond properly. Yes. We go way back.
Way back at what?
But if we're potentially going to be charged with treason or perverting the course of justice, we need to know why.
You're not going to get caught, are you? You guys are too good for that.
We know. Well, I had an interesting conversation with a Corvetter's Eye this morning. They are influencing this as well. They have some involvement in. So
as they should.
In terms of preventing what we
Moon
want
has
to do.
been a naughty girl.
I don't think it's just. It's not just
yes,
Moon.
she has.
This is
And he
more than
makes, he makes
just
a little
them.
he makes a little SWAT motion.
This is more than just Moon. She's part of this, but this is bigger than that. She may be the face of what's going on, but I'm not sure she's not the power behind it.
The
As
question
you say.
is how far do you want us to go with this? I mean, we can rescue her, make a huge commotion, and cause massive problems with House Corvetto. That might be the only way to do it. If you want it done quietly, it might not be possible.
Oh, I hope you guys take care of this on your own. Look, I want her saved, and so does the house. You understand the repercussions. However, the house does not want to be implicated. Make your choice as well. Be gone.
We will do what we can.
Very tempted to knock him out to go as Uncle Loto.
So am I understanding this correctly? You're asking us to save her because you and she had a bit of a fling some time back. She's a bit of a good squeeze in bed.
Is someone still talking?
I wince at that.
Yes, we're here to question you and your motives, and you still haven't answered us.
It's as if we're doing it for you and not having.
Exactly what we're here for. You're asking us to put our lives at risk here, our reputations, the house's reputation, all for someone that has caused endless troubles and death to you and your friends.
He stands up.
There must be a good reason, and if there isn't, we question it.
Questioning is okay.
Yeah.
Disobedience is not. He is standing up to his full height. He says, listen. Let's be brutally honest. If you fail in this, it's because Mochlain's in love with her.
What?
If you succeed in this, you will gain greatly within the house. Fair? I think so.
Mochlain is in love.
I think that be gone still stands. Right? He says to the poor person who is supposed to be tightening his garter before Mochlain took over.
So you're not willing to give us the reason?
No.
The reason. The reason is she was a previous squeeze.
Oh, do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
No. Does she say that out loud? He goes, the machinations of the greater houses, he says in a drunken voice, are far above the petty thoughts of our retainers.
The houses I've seen lately have been disgraceful.
Not ours.
Well, we're trying to help you make that the case.
We help the people.
We do want to help the people.
The people have been greatly wronged by Moon.
What people? You?
Orphans. Your wife.
Blood sacrifice.
Blood sacrifices.
I have it on
Numerous plots against our house.
Against our house or against you? Because of... And he nods at Mochlain.
Are we not part of your house?
Yes,
Is
you
that what
are.
So your house.
Fair. However, the request...
That's where we're at.
Let us put it this way. And he thinks. You can see he's trying to swim through this in a situation where he really shouldn't be trying to logic things out. And he says, look, there are things afoot of which you do not need to know. And by the way, Martin, Monty, you think you would probably know?
Yeah.
And he says, but I will simply, instead of a directive, make this a sincere request, which I can disavow.
Which you can disavow. Sorry. What did he say?
You heard me. Don't stutter.
Did you say disavow?
Things go wrong. Of course.
So you want us
That's
to
how it
take...
always is.
So basically you're asking us to take a risk without any explanation, without taking any responsibility for it.
You live in my house. You eat my food. You receive my coin. You do as you will in the city. You break laws and get away with it. You do what you will.
And you can see that we're all here questioning this, and
I see the concern.
and without an explanation, you're willing to take the risk on this woman's life if we were not to follow it. Your request. So if you, knowing that we're questioning it, you're willing to not give us the answers and take that risk with Moon. That
He sits on the...
That we are unsuccessful.
This is going longer than I hoped. He sits on the edge of the bed, which creaks. And he says, I am simply risking the fact that I think you have never failed me yet.
So based purely on our reputation.
A well-earned reputation.
But we follow a moral compass as well.
So I've heard.
Yeah. And some of us may have a moral compass that is stronger than pure mindless following orders.
His eyes swim to intelligence for a minute.
Give us a moral reason to follow your advice rather than just following orders.
I choose not to. However, I will say that at least one of those condemned will make one of you happy. And that's the point, Martin, Monty, that you realize he's got an alternative set of knowledge coming to him. That's in the house that you were not aware of, that you might want to take control of.
Yep. Because that's clearly not come from the same sources we've had. Yeah. Okay. Grab hold of that.
Out of the soundness of time and everything else, we're needing to move forward, even though we don't know everything, as we're down to less than an hour
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
with a lot of things going.
One good reason why he wants to rescue Moon de Lavelle, which is who better to bring down House Lavelle than her?
Interesting thought from
But why not
Pietro.
Why not explain that?
That's a good question.
He's the leader of a house. He's not used to having to explain himself to underlings.
I think I made it very clear myself, because I'm actually at the moment I'm fighting my scandal, which is faithless.
Ah,
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
which is
part-
not.
one.
which
So
is-
you're having a
which-
hard time believing
Yes.
anything anyone's saying. Yeah,
Which is the next B trigger, by the way. I just realised.
that's really cool. I like that. And so as you struggle with that, let us move from this scenario, unfortunately with less closure than we would like. As you know, as the servant tries to usher you out, and you have many things you would rather have asked that you don't get completely solved. We're going to move across to make a quick roll to set up what happens, and this will give us a little idea of sort of where you stand within the scenario. And you guys don't have to rescue Moon. You can do as you choose. There's plenty of ways you can go about this. I do think that there's certain people you would like to rescue. I do think that you didn't get quite as much information as we would like in the time it was available. I think that has been a reoccurring problem for everyone in this scenario, in this campaign, is there's never enough time to get everything you need. So what I'd like to do is move you across to the engagement roll, if you see on roll 20, and ask you a couple of things. And when I say choose a plan, it's more just to give a flavor to the way you're going about trying to do whatever it is you choose to do in the scenario. I'm not saying choose now if you're going to save Moon Lavelle. Choose. I know you're trying to save Andrea. I know that. I know that you're trying to preserve the honor of the house as best your ability in the situation. I know that all of you have paramours who are at this, who are at risk in some way, shape, or form, including Rose, who expected to be invited and is, and you will describe her dress shortly. Rob, get working on it.
Sorry, who's Rose?
Oh, yeah, right. Pietro, your young lady will be there. Hopefully she has not brought any things to show off. You know, little... So, let us decide on how your main focus is on this plan. Do you think it's probably I'm leaning towards stealth or social. Deception is really cool. That's sort of where you're trying to maybe swap something around. Go ahead.
Deception or subterfuge or...
Yeah, I was looking towards deception, maybe. Yeah.
I think so as well. And I think the method of that... Go ahead.
I think we can use that in all of our encounters, whichever may arise.
I mean, stealth was normally Monty's quite stealthy, but I think in this point, the fact that everybody in House Lavelle who's involved in this knows there's a strong connection there. I don't think there will be since expecting him to come in disguise, so he's not going to.
Yeah, people will see you as the heir apparent to Victoria.
Mm.
Any conversation you enter will be changed by the fact that you were in it.
Yep. And they're possibly even trying to track him magically anyway, because they'll want to know where he is.
So I like deception, and when I say the method, we'll deal with that as we go instead of trying to do that. Is this errand bold or daring? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it complex or contingent? I think it will become that way. And I'm not going to get argued out of that one. So I think those go flat. Does a plan leverage the house's strengths? Anyone?
Well,
Well,
we're certainly
transport.
we're going to be unconventional. So
Yes.
yeah.
Is the target strong prepared? Yep. They are absolutely prepared. So that cancels. Can friends or contacts provide aid or insight? I'm sorry, that's going to, those are going to cancel out as well. Will this endanger or reflect? Go ahead. I'm happy to hear arguments.
I might be able to use a contact. It's not an up arrow, and it's not my down arrow. It's just a neutral.
I'm giving you that you get that dice.
Oh, okay.
Because you've been working it, but I'm also taking away that they are interfering.
Yeah.
And you will see that. Will this endanger or reflect poorly on your paramours?
Yep.
Yes. Yes, it will.
Very much.
Will you allow your paramours and reputation to complicate this errand?
No.
No.
Okay, then you lose that die. Okay. I think we're flat, except for your extra die you guys get, I think, or something.
Yeah, we'll use our lady's favour for that.
Well, we don't lose, do we? Will you allow your paramour, your reputation, or their reputation to complicate this errand? We said no, so we don't take the 1D, the minus 1D, and we don't gain 1 heat with them. But
it cancels out. It cancels out. So the first one is: will this endanger or reflect poorly upon one of your paramours?
Which is a yes. So we get the 1D and we lose 1 heat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
But
then,
are you going to allow this to affect their reputation or complicate the errand?
will we allow it?
I would say yes to that then. Fuck it.
I see how that's written.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I don't like that. I'll reconsult the book. But what I'll do is I will give you 3 die based on the poor writing that I have put on there. Who wants to roll?
Can I just ask if I was to do something just before, as soon as we got out of Uncle Loto's office, okay, if I was to do something and travel back in time,
doesn't take. No, I'm not giving you any flashbacks.
No, it's not a flashback. It's scrying. You can see what happened in the past. So I can go from right now with Moon and travel back on her timeline, and then I can see where she's gone.
Okay.
Via
are you
via that.
Trying to look for intersect with?
No, I'm trying to find out where she moved from from House Lavelle to where she currently is.
Okay. What I'll say is, if you will give me 2 stress, I will give you a really cool something.
Okay, 2 stress, that's worth it. I mean, the thing's only worth 1 stress.
I know, but if you give me 2, I'll give you something cool.
But it specifically says 1 stress for that feature.
Fine. Take 1 stress.
Okay.
Okay. Take your 1 stress, and I will still give you something fairly cool.
Okay. Call me up, baby.
You can see her sitting in a cavern, more a grotto, because there are gaps in the ceiling where light comes down.
think I know where she is.
Oh,
Wow.
go on, lay it on us, man.
You know that smuggling cave.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was tied with what house and what house?
Almari.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's on the other side of town, though. So
Almari and who? Wasn't it one of the major houses as well? But it was swept under the carpet.
Almari was it Bjorn? Were they involved? Can't remember. But Almari was the main one.
So underneath the Battaglia has the arsenal. Almari has the docks.
Yes, it was under the dock.
Yeah, it was under the arsenal. Was the cave? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
The cave.
Okay, so basically, I've worked out Moon's movements from when she left House Lavelle, and I know that she's now in a cavern, and light comes down from the ceiling within some cracks. So I'm thinking, is that sounding familiar to where the smuggler's cave was? And did Lorenzo and Monty sort that one out?
I've had to set fire to it.
Yeah.
Yep,
So does
tried,
that sound familiar if I'm just thinking...
It's a decent sized area, that.
Right, but I'm now thinking, if we now know where she is, because I've done the timeline back to when she was at House Lavelle, we might be able to go and release them before.
Here is what I will say. You cannot release them from before. However, if you have guessed correctly where she's at, when you get there, I will accept flashbacks, limited flashbacks, because you don't have a lot of time, because you only have 3 hours from now to there. So it would be in that 3 hour time period that you did something.
Okay.
Okay? All right? So don't tell me the things you can do now.
No.
It'll be a limited flashback, but go ahead. What I would like to do is get the roll out of the way so I know roughly where you're at as this starts.
Okay, so that new information wouldn't give us an extra die, would it?
No, sadly.
Okay.
But that was good. I like.
In that case, let's. And again, I'm going into stuff with bloody stress. So 3 die, you said, yeah?
Yep, 3 die. I don't care who rolls it. I'm happy to see you guys struggle over that. Or I can nominate someone. Lorenzo, knock it out. 3 die.
Give me a sec.
And you don't have to do anything besides there. There's 2. No, there's 3. Okay. Oh, there's the other one. And they rolled correctly. 4.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. 4. Very good. Okay. That will help me place what happens. You are dressed in your finery. You have your masks that have the stylized B on the side for House Bastion, and actually now have a couple. I would like to ask you really quickly for something stylized that represents your group. Don't think too hard because we don't have 1,000 minutes to do this.
What about some antlers?
Yeah, or a monkey.
Oh, monkey. It's got to be a monkey.
Yeah.
You having a hand grenade?
Perfect. A monkey with an explosive.
Yeah. In one hand and a vial of poop juice in another.
I don't mind. I mean, I like the idea of a small stylized monkey on one, up on one of the sides, and you guys have the B for the bastion, and okay, fair enough. I will ask you this, as you're getting into your gondola and heading the direction you're going, just for the viewers and for myself, I want to know what you're wearing. we know that Sasha has been given something. I'd like to know if she did anything to the bodice.
She had basically she was gifted beautiful in a lovely deep jade green color.
Ooh, I like it.
Beautiful colorings, but it had slightly garish golden trims to it,
Ah,
which didn't quite sit with her sort of styling, and the bodice was a tiny bit low. So she has had one of her maids
very
take a
good.
little bit of leather polish to the gold details, and she's managed to basically turn them to a beautiful sort of copperish color, so that they're
Ooh,
really rather beautiful now. And they shine beautifully with this polish that's been basically applied and rubbed, so
I
it looks
like it.
rather beautiful. But now it's this lovely, rich coppery color, and there's
Instead of that.
an insert, a little additional insert of a little sort of copperish lace detail around the top of the bodice, just to give a little bit more modesty. And
Very
just
nice.
the other details. So yes, she has tweaked it a little bit, but it is all in all pretty much what she was doing.
Very, very cool. I think that the dress itself, as dark as it is, I think that it has a bit of a pattern in it. What would that
Yeah.
be?
Kind of like I think like waves. Since his victory on the waves over this sea monster, it's got waves embellished into there. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. And
Okay.
all of you now have to live up to that.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next? Lorenzo? Oh, no, Pietro. He's on it.
Volunteer. I'll volunteer.
Get working it, Lorenzo.
Okay, so Pietro's wearing an outfit which is mainly black in color, high-waisted trousers with buttons up the side, gold buttons up the side, a waistcoat in black with gold leaf embroidery and gold buttons, covered with a long coat with a high collar, and again gold embroidery on the shoulders and the cuffs.
Very nice.
And he has
And
a cane. Just to
I will ask for your loadout shortly. I think that there's only like 2 loadouts in the game you guys can choose, but yeah. Lorenzo.
So I'm going to be wearing what appears on the outside to be very tight leather. Yep.
Okay.
So in the places that it needs to be able to flex, like in the inside of the elbow and then behind the knees, and it is fairly thin leather. But elsewhere, it's actually got very thick, hardened leather, which is almost like protective, like you would get with hardened leather armor. Yeah, but it's not apparent from the outside that that's the case. So from the outside, it appears that I'm very muscular, but actually I'm not. I'm fairly agile underneath that. So on the outside, it seems like I'm quite muscular and probably not very agile, whereas I am actually agile underneath, and I'm well protected basically, just in case I cross a fight.
In case you get into a fight that might happen tonight.
Yeah. So then on top of that, there's a black cape, and inside the black cape, multiple hidden pockets with things inside which may be used in a flashback.
Very good. Okay. Interesting. And very unconventional. You still have the top hat?
I still have the top hat, but it's quite plain. Still has the monkey in it, and then a mask on a stick, which is basically just a white mask with a skull.
Okay, very good. It does have the bee, Bastion, and it does have the monkey on the mask.
Rusty and monkey on the one side, but it can be inverted and turned round where that's not no longer apparent.
Okay, normally these are of like porcelain or something, where reversibility is not as easily done.
This is leather.
Oh, leather where you press it against your face and make it go inverted.
So it can be popped either way.
A very leather outfit indeed. Okay. Understand that it will be considered gauche and garish in some places, but
It's
that's
supposed
okay.
to be. It's
You
supposed to
have
be.
done what you have done. Very good. Monty.
Monty's look is going to be basically the same as what you might normally wear on the road as a gondolier, but it's more finer materials. So it's kind of that style. It still says it still shows background, and it's a definite nod to that. But it's very crisp lines and things on it. A bit like a suit version of a gondolier's outfit.
Very nice. I like that idea.
The little
And,
gondola with a little gondola pin.
Any flares?
How do you mean in terms of what flares as in trousers flares or actual flares?
No, just flares.
Well, it should have a little gondola pin on as well. But like to be honest, he like I said, he doesn't really care what people think about him because he's not there for he's like he's got other things on his mind.
Very good. Okay.
And actually, if it annoys them, he's probably quite pleased about that.
And actually, the gondoliers who usher you where you go are take into account. They see it.
Mhm.
I think last but not least is Mochlain.
Well, I could take the easy road and just say I'm going in my Nax robe, but I'm not, because you asked me to do something spectacular.
Absolutely.
So, Mochlain comes out of his room and he's in full silk regalia with a heavy cloak strapped around his shoulders. It's garnet red.
Nice.
Which is only right for where he comes from. Which has a V coming down to like the top of his diaphragm, and you can see some of his scars coming across. Embroidered in to all the seams, especially around the neckline. It's silver and gold, and then it goes down under where the buttons would be for the top section, with a large, wide golden belt with what looks like patches of the garnet material coming through. He's got long flowing arms, which again has gold coming down to the edge of the sleeve, and that's also got a piece of what looks like suede, but it's when you get a bit closer you actually find it's silver embroidered over the top and under the sleeve, so it looks like it's nice and crisp all the way throughout. He's got golden imagery of sea flowers, and also forms of aquatic life that Mochlain's actually seen, and when he shows off and he pirouettes round, on the back under the cape you can actually see the claw pincer man. embroidered in gold, and
Nice.
and that takes up the motif of the back. The
Nice.
cape is a heavy woolen cape with pockets on the inside, so he can take a light to a heavy loadout, depending on what it's got in there, and the thing just moves effortlessly. He's dressed in trousers of the same colour, same material, so the bog standard silken trousers. The only thing is there are sea creatures up the side seams and sea plants on the inner leg seams going down.
Sea cucumbers. Got it.
Yeah, those type of things, and corals and things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was funny. And look, Pete's not laughing.
No,
Felix
because
isn't laughing. No one's laughing.
if you said
insane.
if you said sea
Yeah.
aubergines, it would have been better.
You try.
And it's finished off with a pair of gold calf length boots with gold around the top, gold around the heel, and gold over the toes. Okay,
Who is
so
going apparently armed?
me.
With?
I'm going with a large weapon. It just says large weapon. Some throwing knives, arcane implements,
Got it.
magic.
Let's do it this way. Your loadout, please.
Mine is 4 to 6. It's heavy.
Okay, we'll make that judgment. It is a ball. I think you explained pockets, which are smaller things. So if you pull out a pike, I'll be questioning that. However,
No, that'll come from my dimensional pocket. It's fine.
Lorenzo, loadout.
I'm heavily loaded out, but without large things.
Okay, so we have 2 heavies going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need it.
You can stand out possibly with that type of loadout for a ball.
On a cape.
Yep. I mean, cape and everything. A heavy loadout is a heavy loadout. It comes with drawbacks, especially in a social situation. Anyone else? Sasha? You're gonna have to go heavy to have a rifle.
Well, she's got an umbrella, a sun umbrella. You think it might have been modified and specially made for her by Pietro?
Ah, I will allow that as a flashback.
But it possibly isn't. But yeah, it looks like one.
Absolutely. Pietro, flashback?
Discreet.
Okay, but I mean for her.
Oh, we don't know yet what we want the umbrella to do, so
Okay. I will go with that in case she doesn't use it. Fair enough.
If I'm paying for a flashback, I want it to be appropriate. That's the point.
No, I am comfortable with that. That's fair enough. Okay, that leaves us only Monty to let us know his loadout.
It's probably going to be discreet because I expect they
fair
are going to
enough.
be keeping tabs on him
Absolutely.
at all
And
times.
you probably bet that anyone around you will get that now that you are quasi-known for your position, those around you will be looked at as well. Now, that may mean that they go, yep, that guy's got a heavy loadout. I expected that because he's next to the eye. Or it could be, holy crap, there's a guy with a heavy loadout who's standing next to the guy I was looking at. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, he's kind of going into this thing anticipating to be blocked and his movement stifled, and he's not going to be able to moves.
Okay.
He's thinking there's no point taking heavy Loto because he's not going to be able to use it.
Fair enough. So here we are. We had the roll by Lorenzo, which gave us a 4 as our highest point for this particular encounter. What I'm going to do now, and this will give away a little bit. No, I'll do it this way. So you enter your gondolas at your house. They cruise across to House Lavelle. Everyone gets off, and there's a milling group around. Yes, please.
Sorry, just quickly. I have my manservant with me.
Ooh.
Okay.
Who's dressed similar build to me, dressed not too dissimilar.
But he seems to be carrying a
Ah.
heavy load. Sorry. Right.
Okay. How does the GM work this? Okay. We will
Well,
roll.
he's obviously not going into the party. He'll stay
No.
outside.
Okay. Fair enough. And he's sitting in the boat behind you. Do you guys pick up your paramours prior? Those that have them available, Monty.
Yeah, so give me that option. I will take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay.
Letter will be coming with me.
Very good. Briefly, Rob, describe what Rose is wearing. And you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
I had a feeling I
Save us
might have
all.
been muted. Right. So when I bring Rose to the gondolier, she's wearing a full-length silk dress made of the same material as mine, embroidered with only silver throughout, and that also has sea creatures and also the sea vegetation, and around the groin area there is a purple aubergine.
No.
Now
and
that's
no.
how you do it, Anthony. Okay.
No, and no. It's been a long time a GM Fayot, and that's it. No, but no. I will tell you this. She carries herself with a poise into the situation without the aubergines that is really, you like the poise is a little bit disconcerting. You're used to her in her element. She looks like a noble lady.
Well, so she
pulls
should
it
do.
off. Her shoulders are back. Seriously. Okay, Pietro.
So she's wearing a dark burgundy dress, with an overdress, an overdress like a coatish style thing, with bell sleeves.
Ooh.
And embroidery on the overcoat, square neckline, and a choker.
Is this her own design?
Yes.
Brilliant. She appears. What's her name again?
Letta, I believe.
Letta. I think so. Letta appears a slight, whereas Rose appears to be putting her best foot forward and going, I'm owning this. Letta appears a little bit timid into the situation. It's a first, and she's a little concerned. Fair enough? Okay. I think that covers everyone. The gondolas cruise around through the dark canals to house. Whoa, what just happened? Did we just lose somebody?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Ah.
So they cruise around to House Lavelle, and House Lavelle is lit well with lanterns and lights, and people are pouring off of their gondolas up the stairs into the open area in front of the house. They're being sort of marshaled by servants and given drinks and things like that. And then, as you all expected, you are marshaled back onto gondolas. The gondolas move away from the house. You can see your foxes at the different bridges as you pass under them. You do indeed move towards the harbor, and you enter something you hadn't seen before. Maybe the walls have moved, maybe the side of the hill is opened. What? But you are indeed exactly under the armory. And I am going to take you across to a different screen.
Who thought it would be close by?
Yeah, well, I
Try to
changed some
tell.
things.
Mm.
I changed some things when you guys came up with what the location was. um, you sail through until you come to a natural beach underneath a bridge where you see the grotto landing picture there. And everyone's descending into a large grotto that House Lavelle has taken as theirs. You can see the white silk across the top, and I also see the chairs of repentance, and we will talk more about that shortly. Are you gaining the ambiance of the location?
Yeah.
Can you hear the orchestra that is off in a side cave providing the sound coming out? Oh, come on. Well, you work at it. Use it. And let me take you even further over to where we now have a rough representation. Once again, this is not a where are you and counting squares. This is the grotto. You can see the landing. You can see the chairs of repentance are down one side. You can see the orchestra. You see where refreshments and seating are. The pictures I gave you before. You can also see where your tokens are that you should be able to drag where you want them to roughly be at any given moment. You can also see where there are a couple of clocks. One says the Corvetto gets sick of it and demands the execution. And you see another one that says outside influences. Those are two clocks that are running at this point. You may enter the ball. The floor is rough, moving towards where the big square of the picture, the dance floor is, which has been overlaid with a wooden dance floor that has been polished to a high sheen. The seating areas off to the north and to the west each have numerous chairs and tables. You notice that the Corvetto himself moves to the northern seating area, and the Lavelle group and multiple other houses and in both sections, but the Lavelles themselves are seating to the west. Refreshments are just south of those, where there are multiple tables with drinks being poured and food being served. Anything you would like to do?
So, as I recall, these caves were being used to smuggle. Is that right?
Okay.
They've been used as a smuggling cave, and that there was a tunnel from here through to a warehouse.
There was. And there's also light coming down from multiple points.
In the ceiling.
There was also an exit
Yes.
to the ocean as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So you think the exit to the ocean may be back the way you came.
Yeah.
And then I will really quickly say there's some openings providing light in these locations here. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts is old man called Veto?
I will change this and go bing, bing, bing. He's
Okay,
sitting
so
up north.
when we board and come into the main grotto, we'll have a look round.
Yes.
I will go and see old man called Veto. But I want to go past the chairs of repentance and go the long way round. So basically, I want to go this way round, which will give my colleagues and friends time to do what they want to do before I get to old man called Veto. And I'm walking Rose. I'm kind of like doing this, so she's got her hand on top of mine to,
Very good.
and she
Very
kind
good.
of glides with me to my left. One of my loadout is a sword. It's it's
Take it
there.
off.
Yeah. I've already
Very good.
sent you what
Good.
I've got. So I whispered you.
Okay. Sorry, working it.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I see what you did. Okay.
Yeah. So now that gives Sasha a good time to interject as to what she's going to do. But when I go
Yes.
past the chairs of repentance, are the three people there?
No.
Right, in that case, I just give a glance and then I glance down to the orchestra, glance
What
over at
you
the refreshments, pause, and then
What
carry
you
on.
What you see to the side, and you don't see any sign that says Chairs of Repentance, but you do see a side grotto that has been set up with 3 ornate chairs. The ornate chairs are surrounded with pile upon pile of white silk. Is your information about poison correct? I don't know. Also, you notice through casual glance that the armrests of the chairs have restraints.
Does it look like there's a tunnel past the...
Yeah, I wish.
No,
the picture itself implies it, but it
Yeah.
does come to a pretty dead end.
it
But
does.
you can see the light up above. In
Right,
fact,
so I
I'll move
wonder
that
where
light.
they're holding them.
So I will
unless
move
it's-
it,
Yeah.
I was trying
No,
to
it's
move,
fine.
I was trying to move that circle back a little bit, but it is what it is. You think there's several options. One, they could bring him in by gondola. Maybe they're somewhere where your folks couldn't get to. Maybe the echoing, dripping, watery thing is they're already here.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, but where would they be?
Now,
Yes.
there's plenty of ways for you to figure that out. Anyway,
You were muted.
let me let's move to you guys who are coming off. And I do want to know, where is Jorah? Did he come with you, or did he come with his group? From did you get him to come with you, or did you get him, or are you meeting him there? I don't mind either way.
Just thinking. I like the idea of sticking another little claw into the shield, so I think I'll get him to accompany me there.
I like it. And when you descend with Jorah, you can see that Tita is indeed sitting over by her grandfather and grandmother, who you have not seen before because she has been strangely absent. Lorenzo, you see a boat pulling in behind you that has a lady in a very simple but elegant red dress. When I say red, it's slightly darker than like to be a bright color. And it is possibly, as you look around the group of people, all the nobles and everyone, it might be the most expensive dress here. And the Senora steps off the boat by herself and walks fairly confidently in towards the rest of the built up area.
Okay.
Okay, give you that color. You guys are off. Pietro, you and your paramour may go where you choose.
I'm going to escort Letta onto the dance floor.
Wonderful. The music is playing, and it's a dance where you can dance as pairs. And there you go. You can see around you there are numerous groups that are looking. Let me see, who have I touched? So you're there with Rose. You're doing that circle. Monty, what are you doing?
Monty's come in and he's spotted the Corvetto who he wanted to talk to earlier. He's also spotted the grotto that you've seen, and he's 50-50 as to what he's going to do.
Very good. You can see, I'll give you this, that in the seating area over here, where you have the Lavelle, the older man, plus the cadet Lavelle, and sitting behind the cadet Lavelle and carefully covered with a number of young men with swords is Cosimo.
Mm-hmm.
There are numerous of the young ladies of Lavelle, of which you recognize, I think you recognize. Have you seen Isabella? I think you have.
I think we've met Isabella, yeah.
Yeah. And so Isabella is sitting there, not too far from Cosimo, able to answer the needs that he might have as one of his personal secretaries.
He's gonna.
Here's your chance, Lorenzo. You can go up and slap Cosimo with a glove.
That'll be good. Yeah.
Just gotta get there.
Auntie's gonna head towards, I think, the Corvetto.
Okay, you're heading that way. Okay.
It's probably the less hazardous route than what is his other option. I mean, his other option may well come back, but that's going to cause
Very good.
Going to cause some chaos.
All right, Lorenzo, your character token and your monkey are down below. And by the way, I did put your whippet on there, Sasha. If it's there, it's there. I'm happy with that. If not, fine. Lorenzo, where are you?
I'll be close.
What are you doing?
I'm near the dance floor.
Okay.
So I'm walking in. I'm being extremely gauche. I'm breathing fire.
You're doing what?
I'm
Are you really?
fire
Oh,
breathing.
I love it. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Whoosh. I love it. Big gouts going up. Oh, wow. How cool is that? Okay. Let me see what I want to add at this point.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Do I see that eye person that we spoke to this morning?
Oh, yes, you do. He is sitting up behind the Corvetto, a couple of seats back.
Yeah.
There are other people in between.
Yeah.
I will add something that you all find interesting. The dress that Tita is wearing looks almost exactly like Sasha's, except for this is gold and not done down to brass, and there's not the little thing for the negligee. And Tita is staring daggers at Sasha.
Sasha looks at Tita, smiles, does a little curtsy nod, and moves on
Wow.
with her on her arm over to the refreshments.
And let me pause just to have my own glory here. I go, as a GM, 3 times in a row I've gotten it with dresses. It feels so good. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Carry on. I think young Jorah may have been tricked.
It's
and
not
you will
brass.
find that.
Huh.
Nope.
Not brass.
It is so close that it's not funny. And it is noticeable.
Pretty certain I make mine look better. But I'm going to say
you obviously carry it better.
It is copper. Copper details. No difference.
You are
brassy color. Copper
number
is
one. Yes.
reddish tone.
And you are a woman, whereas she is an aspiring young woman and confident and capable where she would very love to be. It is a very different appearance that you provide, but it is not lost upon the one that it was intended to offend. And Jorah is blissfully unaware that he has been conned and is on your arm smiling and having a good time. Though you can ask him, if you so choose, about where he got the dress or anything like that. Feel free. Or ignore it. I don't care.
Ignore it. I rise above that sort of
Absolutely.
fighting. I do not need to enter into those games. When you make it look this good, you don't need to worry about that sort of detail.
Absolutely. I will say that for those watching, yes, he was conned. He was conned well. He met someone in a bar who said, I've got this line on this most awesome dress. And he was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard of. I'm buying that for my paramour. And he was well played. Okay. Anything else going on right now?
I mean, we've been dancing for a little while, so Pietro and Letta are going to go over to refreshments.
Very good.
Wouldn't touch them.
Get something
Martin?
cool, refreshing to drink.
Very good. Martin, you notice one of the waiters looks ridiculously like Alric wearing a big broad mask.
Whereabouts is he?
Stab the fucker.
He is moving amongst the people at the edge of the seating area, delivering drinks. But you think, if I didn't know better, maybe, is he dumb enough to be here? What's happening?
Oh, he's definitely dumb enough to be here.
Oh, yeah. You think that's probably him.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've noticed him. I'll pass that information on once I see somebody. Once I encounter somebody in the group. But yeah, he's heading towards the Corvetto with purpose.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you guys, it's 10:05. We have pushed this really hard. There's several really big things that are going to happen. And I hesitate to press forward tonight for fear of running to like 11 or something. Okay? So what I'd like to do is narrate a couple little things, and then sadly, I have a sneaking hunch we're going to have to take a part 2 to the ball, simply because we had a lot of early parts.
I think it's worth giving the time to it though.
Okay? Instead of forcing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
what I'll
there's going to
do,
be a load of flying monkeys, so
We've been building up to this for a while, so it's worth
Yeah.
getting the pace.
flashback.
it is a serious flat. There's a lot of build up here.
Blood-sucking
Dancing goes on, talking goes on, and we'll move through some of that. But I want to get to a quick moment where the cadet Lavelle moves out to about where Lorenzo's character is now, though I think you and the monkey have probably moved on. And he claps and the music comes down and he welcomes everyone to the ball. And he adds, I'm exceedingly pleased that my house has a chance tonight to extirpate some guilt that has fallen upon us. And he claps again, and descending from that hole that's further back down into the chairs via ropes that are descending from above are Honor, who you know as the evil lady who beat you as a child, Andria, who is terrified and bound, and Moon, who is stoic and firm, as they lower them down directly into the seats. Servants come and bind their arms. He does again, and then he says, let the music start. But I will tell you, there will be an execution tonight. But first, we will at least have a last dance. Ha 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 ha. And that's where we'll end it tonight. Okay, Rob, kill us off, then I'll chat for 2 seconds.
Okay, blood magic, you're all dead.
Well,